How's it going, guys? Jay here. This is SmartHelping.com, and as promised, we made a sale on the valuation, small business valuation calculator, and so I've now done a bunch of upgrades to it. Um, Originally, it was just a model where you put in your calculations here, walks you through a couple different valuation bases, seller's discretionary income, EBITDA, and I've upgraded this whole section. I'll talk about it in a second. And discounted cash flow analysis, and then just revenue, which is our fourth one. So you've got these four different methods. You can enter low to high multiples here, and then on the discounted cash flow, you could do a lower discount rate is a higher value, but you can enter those percentages here. Nothing changed there, and then you get this range of values, and I did a printable charts, and this is all printable here that shows the different values of the different methods, and um, this is just stacked, and then this you can see here's the value, all the lowest values, and so forth, and then this shows the highest and lowest of each method. So a couple different visuals. Um, the additions I did, so we added EBITDA. There's more adjustments here and a couple more here. So it's just more comprehensive. But you find your financial statements, mainly the income statement, and put in this data, and you'll get an adjusted EBITDA, which is used for evaluation. The adjustments are just mostly non-recurring adjustments, non-operating adjustments, and that's because if someone's trying to value your business and things might have been included in your reported EBITDA that aren't normally included in expected in future or regular operations. So if you put a positive value here, it means you're trying to add back something that was reducing your EBITDA reported, but it's not part of regular ongoing operations. If you put a negative, it means something was included in your reported EBITDA that it shouldn't be for ongoing, because whoever's buying this business doesn't want to account for things that aren't going to happen in the future. Now that can get very wishy-washy. Is something really non-recurring, or does it happen every few years? And it will happen. There's a lot of gray area here, so you better have good reasoning for whatever you put in here. But that's one basis, the EBITDA, or earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, amortization, and adjustments. The seller's discretionary earnings is another method you can use. It's similar, but no changes were made there, and no changes were made to this kind of cash flow analysis. And revenue, you just input in a number here. So that's all the same. Only update is more robust EBITDA. And then we've added some tabs. So we've added an analysis tab, guidelines tab. Well, that's it. So analysis and guidelines. The guideline is just showing you, so when you're putting in these multiples for your business, or if you're trying to buy a business or trying to sell, this is, either way you might be using this template. You're going to put in these multiples for seller's discretionary income, EBITDA, revenue multiple, and discount rates. So what should you put in for the high, medium, low, what makes sense? And there's a lot of variables, and some of it can depend on size, volumes, market sentiment, a lot of things. But in general, I have a little guide here that shows for different, local services, professional services, e-commerce, retail, restaurant, auto repair, SaaS, some different multiples for SDE, EBITDA, or revenue. And so there's a range for each type, and you could interpolate those ranges however you feel, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 possible multiples and discount rates for these. But there's a little description next to each one, disclaimer, and then there is discount rate ranges for each of the same business types, and then a best default rate. So you can read through those and give you a little context for what you might want to input for your specific scenario. But the model is basically anchored. Once you put this data in, you have now made the template for your scenario, because it's based on whatever your operational data is. and this is all mostly going to be pulled from your income statement. Future cash flows, or obviously if you're acquiring a target company, it's from their income statement that you're looking at. Future cash flows, you just estimate what you think the future cash flows of the business might do. You're plugging an interest rate, and here's the present value. One of the oldest and most it's fairly simplistic, but a standard valuation method for businesses that have steady income. One thing on discount rates you want to note is if you're already discounting your cash flows by putting in assumptions that are very conservative, then maybe even though the business might be on the riskier end, if your assumptions are safer, then because the discount rate is trying to reflect the risk of the future cash flows. So if you've already discounted it once, you don't want to double discount it by giving it like a super high discount rate and using very conservative assumptions. You want to put in, if you put in strong assumptions on the higher end of what might is likely to happen for whatever reason, or whatever you think you can do that, then okay, yeah, use a discount rate that's for the industry standard. If you've already lowered assumptions and made them on the lower end of things, then you might want a lower discount rate because the probability and risk is lower of what your cash flows are predicted to be. And whatever, obviously the models I sell on SmartHelping.com could help you come up with these future cash flow numbers with more bottom up assumptions, but this is just an input area, and you'll calculate this elsewhere and drop it in from wherever source you have. Okay, so there's that. The guidelines to help you input some numbers that might make some, get a range that are acceptable or defendable. You enter them in here, discount rates entered here, and then your data is entered in the other blue text. Okay, so the additional tab analysis. So what I've done here is we've come up with a weighted average valuation on the low, base, and high end. And we have 6 actual valuations. So the low is the lowest, the high is the highest, and then the base is using mid 1. Mid 1 is right here. You see there's low, lower, mid 1, mid 2, high, highest. So we're using mid 1 for the mid, and then lowest and highest. And you can see mid 1 is right here for each of these. And then what we're doing is just weighting each method. So seller's discretionary earnings, EBITDA, revenue, discount rate. We're giving each of those a weight and then applying that weight to the actual values, the low values, base values, and high values to come up with a weighted average valuation. And usually the most trusted number, or it'll be the base. So that's like the weighted average of all the middle multiples basically. And so this is numbers right here. And there's a table I also added that shows the implied multiple at the low, base, and high. So what that says at low, at $86,000 valuation, if you're looking at SDE, that'd be an implied 2.1x multiple. EBITDA is 0.9x because your EBITDA here is 92,333, and we're saying low is 86, so we're just dividing our valuation by the EBITDA in this case, and then by the revenue in this case for the low, base, and high scenarios, and then by SDE in this case. So low is looking at this number compared to these 3 values. Base is looking at 202 relative to the sales discretionary earnings, EBITDA, and revenue. And high is looking at this number compared to so we're at a high valuation at 411,000 weighted average. It would imply a 9.8x seller's discretionary earnings multiple, a 4.5x EBITDA multiple, and a 0.9x revenue multiple. And I put the values just here so you can see, these numbers are based on this, these multiples are based on this. You can also do a scorecard. So revenue growth, recurring revenue, customer concentration, or dependency, margin state, all these different things kind of give you, I did a 1 to 5, so you can pick 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. And then you get an average score here, and that can tell you if your valuation should be closer to the lower end or the higher end. But what you'll do is look at the industry standard guidelines, put in some numbers that are close to this for your lowest to highest. And then once you have those in, you do your score of the company and then figure out if this is closer to 5, then you might be closer to the base or the high valuation. If it's closer to 1 or 2, maybe you're closer to the lower end here. And you could put notes next to each of these. And that is pretty much it for this template. That's new. So the value analysis tab is completely new. Guidelines is new. And then on the calculations, I vamped up the adjusted EBITDA, adding some more inputs and making it a little bit more comprehensive. Model tab is exactly the same. If you want to download the template, as you know, if you've been here before, if you don't, you go to smarthelping.com. That's the website where I've built things for the past decade. Thousands of clients, hundreds of public templates I've built from scratch based on learning and understanding things over time. A lot of mental gymnastics over the years. But anyway, it's going to be in the category valuation right down here. Click on it, and it's going to be the 4 method valuation this here. So you click on that, this, and you can see the screenshots. I'll update this for the new version. There's also a Google Sheet version you get with the download. But anyway, just add to cart, download it. You'll get an email as well, and then have fun. So I'll add that. It's also included in obviously the valuation bundle for $99, which includes all these other templates, and is included in the Super Smart bundle, which includes all the templates on the site. If you want to hire me, I can build custom templates for all kinds of different things. It's $175 an hour. Also, let me know in the comments or email me if you have suggestions about a template improvements you think that would be good for the community, or just anything that you have information or helpful pointers, whatever. I'm open to all feedback right now and just looking to improve and keep building things. Alrighty, like and subscribe, and that's the update on that one.